Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and today I am interviewing Danny Harani. I don't know how many times I've interviewed you, Danny, but it's good to have you in the community, brother.
It's great to be here, Dave. Thank you so much.
Good. Well, I've got a couple topics. I want to talk about how things are going with annual reviews. I want to focus that around how you're bringing that conversation to real estate agents. But before we dig in and, tackle that topic, if you could just let folks know how's the year going? How many leads are you getting a month? How many loans? Just give us a snapshot of how things are going.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a chance to take a quick look at the numbers before jumping on, and we're currently sitting at 174 leads on a 30-day average, but only sitting at about a 35 loan lock rate. So that's quite a bit low, below our normal number. We have been in the process of transitioning companies though, so that takes a little bit of wind out of the sails just from a standpoint of logistics. But knowing that the leads are creeping back up to 200 plus, I believe we're going to be turning that back around to our normal conversion rate. So we'll be back to 50 or 60 applications, locked applications in a 30-day window, probably in about another 30 or 45 days.
And what is typically your conversion lead to loan?
About 30%.
Got it. So by the way, takeaway for everybody, notice that they know their numbers. There's a lot of ways you could do it, whether it's on your CRM, whether you use Win by Noon Planner, no matter how you do it, top producers know their numbers. So Danny, we've been talking about annual reviews. Many of the nation's top loan officers are making that their number one focus in 2018. And I know that that's one of your top focuses. If you could, describe why is that a top focus to you and your team? And then two, let's transition into how are you bringing that value to realtors and what are you doing there?
Perfect. So, I mean, the annual review is extremely important. And we're learning it's even more important as we're starting to implement more and more this strategy more and more often, because the process by which we're acquiring customers is changing and the consumer preference is changing. And that change is really forcing us to look, do a really deep self-reflection and saying, well, what are we doing that is working and what are we doing that is not working? And the fundamental difference as far as consumer preference goes is that there's so much noise and there's so much distraction out in the space of acquiring new customers that there's a lot more time, energy, and effort that is needed to get a new customer in the door. And so the old tried and true methods of really focusing on your database and looking at the people that already know you, already like you, they've already done business with you, is really becoming more and more urgent. And it's almost embarrassing to say this because we all know that this is true. There's countless studies of the cost to acquire a new customer versus getting a repeat customer. Honestly, it's just not as fun, right? The hunt is fun. Like going out and getting new customers is fun. It's also a grind, but when you go out and win, there's that dopamine hit that is just really rewarding. And you look at your database, it's almost like having to do the dishes, right? It's like everybody knows they need to do the dishes, but it's still a bummer, right? When you have to just go and do it. And it's a recognition that if we're going to survive and be relevant 18, 24 months from now, we all have to start doing the dishes. And that comes down to truly becoming relational with our past clients and in being super intentional about when we're getting new clients in, what is our process for making sure we're relevant to them and we're providing relevant content to them constantly throughout their homeownership experience and constantly looking to optimize or add value in some way. So the annual review is a super tangible way for us to call up a client and say, even if it's just simply to say, hey, remember that loan we got you 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? It's the best loan you could have gotten relative to the current market. Just wanted to let you know that. High five. You're still good to go, unless, like some of the other people that have been reaching out to me recently, you have some debt that you want to consolidate, or you're looking to send a kid to college, or maybe you're looking to renovate your office into a nursery because you just had a kid. And this is where the new implementation of annual review, not with the client-facing conversation, which is super important, and the number one thing that loan officers need to be looking at today is how they can extract deals from their database. And a good rule of thumb here is if you have for every 100 people in your database, you should be getting 4 closings a year from that database. And that's just based on analysis of a propensity to have activity. And it's not necessarily those people do business with you, but they potentially, through interacting with them and staying top of mind, you're getting leads, and then you're converting those leads that you're getting from your database into closing. So in our analysis, a healthy number is about a 4% return. So for every 100, you should be getting 4 closings a year. So for those of us who have been in the business a long time, there is an absolute gold mine, and potentially a career-making gold mine if you can just get to that 4% a year number based on all of the lives that we've touched and families that we've all helped throughout the years. So I'll go into quickly and go ahead, David.
Real quick before you drill on the realtor. So 2 things. One, we're not going to get into the mechanics of how do you get the meeting with them, delivering the total cost analysis. I am going to put links down below. So if you're watching this, in the description below, there'll be a link to an article on why you should make annual reviews your #1 priority, and a link from a top producer that does over 100 million a year in business, Rick Shear, on his process. I also want to tell you, we are getting a lot of loan officers in the community that are getting 10% of their past customers into retention. They're doing, you got 100 loans, you got 100 past customers, that's 10 loans. And when you look at the metrics, forget about how many loans a loan officer is getting. We can look at what's called the constant prepayment rate of most portfolios, and it's like 15 to 17%. And even in today's market, so whether they're buying a home, whether they're refinancing a home, at least 15 out of every 100 of your homeowners, they're doing a transaction. So to Danny's point, 4 to 5%, that's a 30% conversion rate. 10% is like a 70% recapture rate, and it is possible. So with that said, Danny, why don't you transition? Because one thing I want to focus on is most loan officers just think annual reviews is just a refi strategy. And the loan officers I talk to, one, they're pulling purchase leads out of their annual reviews that they're, by the way, bringing to their realtors. So they're getting purchase transactions. And then you've taken it one step further to having that conversation with realtors. So let's tackle that now.
So one of the things that has allowed our team to be successful is doing a lot of leveraged events, kind of a one-to-many presentation where we share to the best of our ability some valuable strategies that a realtor can take back into their business. And so what we have shared with them this year, and I've done about 4 of these presentations now in 2018, is that the realtor should be looking at any of their partners, be it title, escrow, and absolutely their lending partner, and expecting them to do more. And I know that's probably scary for some of the people that might be watching this because we're already doing so much, right? And we're already maxing ourselves out, maybe even burning ourselves out. But the simple fact is that there are companies out there, and there's a shift in the consumer behavior that's causing the consumer to go outside of us as local professionals first. They're getting intercepted by Zillow. They're getting intercepted by other name brand companies. You might have seen a couple Super Bowl commercials, right, that are out to get these customers ahead of us as local professionals. And we need to be able to create such a compelling value proposition that the traditional bucket of leads, those relationship-focused clients, are coming to us first and coming to the realtor first. And the way we do that is by truly being relational with them. So the message to the realtors in these presentations is you should be expecting your partners to be more and to do more to create that wow referable experience with your database, the past clients of the realtors, so that those people will want to come back to that realtor and that lender partnership, like really thinking of them as team members. And the kind of core message that is the value add back to the realtor is twofold. One is that if they allow the lender to complete annual reviews, or expect the lender to complete annual reviews for their database, they're leveraging the lender's time. They're not using their own call time to nurture their database. They're using the time of another expert that's part of their partnership. And it really is something that we should be doing anyway. So it's net zero for us, but a massive reframing of that being valuable back to them. The second thing is that we as mortgage professionals and as financial services professionals, we have permission to ask different questions than a purely relational, emotional realtor may be able to ask that client. We can explore things about their finances, ask them about their job, ask them about their debt load, things that it would probably be inappropriate or embarrassing for a realtor partner to ask of that client, but which could be really predictive of their future behavior as far as, buying or selling real estate. And then we can kind of take that message back to our partner, say, Mr. Joe Realtor just talked to Sally Smith. They just sent their last kid off to college. We helped them, finance that with a cash out refinance. They're probably about, 9 to 18 months away from making a move. It might be good to put them on your radar. And that's the kind of value that we can add back to the realtor, because doing more and being more means putting leads and closings into their pipeline, because it's becoming harder and harder every day for realtors to remain relevant also. So us creating that triangle of trust and being a true partnership to add that value is what's going to cause us all as mortgage coaches and mortgage professionals to be relevant 18 months from now. And it's going to be a big fight between now and then. And banding together is what's going to make the difference.
Love this. So everybody who's watching this, first of all, I know this is going to be one of the most viewed videos in the best of 2018 already, Danny. This is a big paradigm that you've shared. We've been evangelizing and talking about how important annual reviews are with your own database. Danny is saying, hey, I'm flipping that paradigm, and I'm coming to my realtors as an advisor, as a leader, and getting them to look at their database and the value that it has. Because, by the way, not only do most loan officers not maximize their database, most realtors are missing a lot of transaction and value. And so one, you're just getting value.
It's doing the dishes for them too. It's the same.
Yeah,
they're hunters, they're salespeople, same as us. So it gets neglected, and they say they'll call when it's convenient, and it's never convenient. I mean, I'm the exact same way. I'm like, I'll get to that later. I'm sure it'll be there for me when I'm ready to deal with it. And then when I finally sit down to make those calls, one out of every 8 is already refinanced with somebody else, and I want to throw up.
Yeah, and whether you're a loan officer or you're a realtor, whatever your past customer business is, if you are doing annual reviews, it would probably be 2 to 3x, whatever it is. So they're sitting on a lot. And so Danny's bringing that leadership. And even if they say they don't give the database, they don't say, yes, I want you to do these annual reviews, he still created value. He still is getting value from that. But he is coming and saying, hey, I'm going to help you with that process. And remember, he just walked us through, and if you want to put this on hold, listen to what he said, listen to that scripting, super powerful for a realtor to leverage Danny and his team to do annual reviews. It serves the family and the client wins, realtor wins, mortgage professional wins. So this is a big strategy. Let's keep it going. So a couple things I want everybody to do. One, if you're getting value from this, you're watching it on YouTube, you're watching it on Facebook, like it. Let us know that you like it. Comment on it. What was a quote that you heard Danny say? What was your biggest takeaway? If you're a manager and leader, share this. The reason I do these interviews is to make change. I want to help the mortgage coach community, which is made up of referral-based local loan officers and lenders. I want to give you a competitive advantage, but I can't give you that competitive advantage if you don't take action. And if you don't, like this call has been incredible, but if you don't watch it, take notes, take action, it was just entertainment. So Dan, any last words as we wrap up today's call? Anything else you want to give a shout out to the mortgage coach community on?
No, I think really there's no better tool than the total cost analysis to do an annual review. And just so that one other strategy, just to give a little nugget, when we send out the TCA for the annual review, what we put their current information, which is up, we did their original loan, so we have the current, and so it's as up to date as possible, because you put in the origination date and it amortizes it down, which is great. And you can have a conversation with them around, is this what your mortgage looks like? Have you made any overpayments, prepayments? Is especially relevant to people that put under 20% down. Those that might be reaching their threshold through appreciation for MIP removal, or if they were FHA originally and now can go conventional, there's some power there. But another thing that we include is this is what a refinance would look like. And what the reason we include that, even though it's not available right now, we've all seen what rates have done, over the last 6 weeks. It's not available now, but we put kind of into their reticular activation system, this is what you should be looking for. And when this is here, we're going to reach out to you for this. So we're putting a pin in their mind around when I feel like I'm getting that emotional feeling like I need to refinance, I'm going to call the Gaylord Hanson team first, because they've already given me some framing around this instead of just flailing around the internet trying to find answers. So it's a little bit of more work, especially because we know right now those rates aren't here, but it's really important to be positioning yourself for the future with that client.
So by the way, boom, huge concept. You're meeting with the client. Remember, mortgage coach is the bookend to the relationship. At the pre-qual, when you do the purchase, it's how you give purchase options. So now you're training that client on how you give advice throughout the life. And then you're doing the annual review. So every year they're getting this update, and you're showing them what winning looks like. So to Danny's point, if rate is winning, put in the rate. If they told you that, you know what, we want to buy a bigger home in 3 years, start showing them what that looks like, and talk to them about, hey, if you prepaid your mortgage by $200 to $300, maybe you could do that 6 months faster. So that concept of using the total cost analysis to family, based off what you told me, this is what winning looks like. So now when the next year comes, or whatever that winning moment is, whether it's rate, whether it's bigger home, remember guys, with tax law changes, HELOCs aren't tax deductible, whatever winning looks like, you're putting that in your annual review. So, hey, Danny, as always, you crush it in mortgage coach land. I'm going to put one more gift down below, everybody. Not only will we have annual reviews, but Danny did a great interview last year. It was one of the top 10 most watched interviews on how he uses Mortgage Coach app in realtor meetings. So, you want to know how to wow a realtor when you're meeting with them, with the fact that you're a mortgage coach. I'm going to put a link below to that. So please like, share, comment. Danny and Randy, super appreciate you taking time to bring value to the community, brother.
My pleasure, Dave. Have a good one, man.
Take care, man. See you later. Have a great weekend.